What if the only thing more dangerous than a cartel hitman is a retired assassin who just wants to harvest fruit in peace, but keeps finding bodies buried under his mango trees? In Mango Farm, Bill H. Myers delivers a Florida noir adventure that transforms the cozy retirement trope into a sun-drenched masterclass in reluctant heroism, proving that you can take the man out of the underworld, but you can't stop the underworld from trespassing on his property. This isn't merely another action comedy with quirky seniors. It's a witty, atmospheric exploration of aging, legacy, and the terrifying realization that peace is something you have to defend with the same ferocity you once used to destroy. From the first humid narration, listeners are immersed in a Southwest Florida landscape where citrus groves hide secrets, and every sunset feels like both blessing and warning. Perfect for fans of character-driven suspense and stories where humor and heart coexist with high stakes, this audiobook serves up relentless pacing, authentic regional texture, and a protagonist whose journey from weary recluse to community guardian resonates with anyone who's ever tried to outrun their past, only to find it waiting at the gate. When ex-hitman Bob Mango Santini discovers a fresh grave in his orchard days before the annual harvest festival, he expects local trouble, not to uncover a conspiracy linking his quiet farm to a cold case that implicates the very sheriff who vouched for his parole. But as Bob navigates nosy neighbors, corrupt officials, and the ghosts of his own violent history, he realizes this mystery isn't about protecting crops, it's about reclaiming redemption in a world that still sees him as a weapon. Myers masterfully avoids reducing Bob to caricature or Florida to postcard backdrop. Instead, he crafts a narrative where violence is regretted, not glorified, where community is earned through service rather than assumed, and where aging becomes an act of defiance against erasure. The audiobook narration amplifies this tonal balance, capturing Bob's gravelly resignation softening into fierce protectiveness, while secondary voices shift subtly between folksy charm and hidden menace, making every port swing conversation feel loaded with subtext. You don't just hear the adventure unfold, you feel the seismic shift of a man learning that home isn't a place you hide, but a life you build. What elevates Mango Farm beyond typical senior sleuth fare is its nuanced portrayal of masculinity in transition. Bob isn't merely solving crimes, he's confronting how his identity was forged in destruction, challenging the notion that worth equals utility. His relationships evolve through acts of radical reciprocity, sharing silence with elderly neighbors who remember his worst self, setting boundaries that protect both privacy and partnership, and mentoring younger men without replicating toxic cycles. Supporting characters shine with uncomfortable authenticity. Widows whose gossip masks grief, deputies whose loyalty tests institutional rot, even the farm itself, rendered as living archive whose soil holds both blood and bounty. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. In landscapes shaped by violence, tenderness is rebellion, and presence is the only true atonement. Even the agricultural details serve thematic depth, with pruning mirroring emotional editing, and harvest becoming metaphor for reaping what you've sown, good and bad. For audiobook listeners, this production is pure sensory immersion. The narrator embodies Bob's evolving perspective with remarkable range, from weary detachment to warm determination, while supporting characters are distinguished through vocal textures that honor regional dialects without caricature. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming intimacy. Distant airboats marking escalating stakes, rain on tin roofs during vulnerable confessions, the rhythmic thud of mangoes hitting baskets syncing with heartbeats during moments of clarity, all ground mythic stakes in tangible reality. Pacing mirrors the rhythm of rural life, deliberate during reflection and community rituals, then surging with urgency as external threats breach sanctuary. Whether you're commuting through urban chaos or unwinding in twilight stillness, the audiobook creates a portable grove where slowness feels sacred and danger feels personal. It's storytelling as embodied homecoming, transforming passive listening into active participation in a journey where peace is fought for, not found. Ultimately, Mango Farm redefines the adventure genre by centering elder agency within action frameworks. It satisfies cravings for satisfying mysteries and heartfelt humor while delivering substantive commentary on aging, restorative justice, and the radical act of building belonging after a lifetime of exile. No prior series knowledge is needed. It stands confidently as a complete emotional odyssey and perfect entry point. If you've ever wondered whether second chances require erasing first mistakes, or if true strength lies in softness, this audiobook will affirm that sometimes the most powerful act is planting roots where others expect ruins. Press play, step into the shade, and prepare to believe that even in lives shaped by shadows, hearts still find ways to bear fruit. Your next favorite adventure isn't waiting in distant jungles, it's waiting in the brave, tender choice to stay.